Gentlemen, I'll make this the last question. It comes from Phil King. He says, many people in the press and politics are questioning the validity of capitalism. What can you say to them that might prompt them to take a look at capitalism more favorably?
Well, the market system works wonders, and it's also brutal if left entirely to itself. And we wouldn't be the country we are if the market system hadn't been allowed to function. And to some extent, you can say that other countries around the world that have improved their way of life dramatically, to some extent, have copied us. So the market system is marvelous in many respects, but it needs government. And it is creative destruction, but for the ones who are destroyed, it can be a very brutal game, and for the people who work in the industries and all of that sort of thing. So I do not want to come up with anything different than capitalism, but I certainly do not want unfettered capitalism, and I don't think we'll move away from it, but I think we capitalists, and I'm one of them, I think there's a lot of thought that should be given to what would happen if we all drew straws, again, for particular market-based skills. It's somewhere way back, somebody invented television. I don't know who it was, and then they invented cable, then they invented pay systems and all of that. And so a fellow that could bat .406 in 1941 was worth $20,000 a year, and now a marginal big leaguer, will make vastly greater sums because, in effect, the stadium size was increased from 30 or 40 or 50,000 people to the country. And the market system, capitalism, took over. And it's very uneven. And incidentally, I think that Ted Williams is worth a whole lot more money than I've ever should make. But the market system can work toward a winner-takes-all type situation, and we don't want to discourage people from working hard and thinking hard. But that alone doesn't do it. There is a lot of randomness in the capitalist system, including inherited wealth, and I think we can keep the best parts of a market system and capitalism, and we can do a better job of making sure that everybody participates in the prosperity that produces. Greg?
Yeah. No, I think it's always keeping the best parts of it. And I even think if we look at the current environment we're in, i.e. in the pandemic, and we have to do it only when we can do it properly and reemerge. But in some ways, the best opportunity for people is when we're back working, clearly, and that the system's functioning again. But that's the obvious. And then there's, as Warren, you've highlighted, there's a lot of imperfections, but it's still it's definitely the best model out there that just needs some fine tuning.
And
Becky, at the end, I would just
Hey, Warren,
I could just say that
oh,
sure,
go ahead. Can I just slip in one more quick question? I forgot this one. Someone sent it in earlier. Thanks. Anderson Haxton wrote in. He said, Warren mentioned that Ben Graham is one of the 3 smartest people he's ever met. I'd like to ask him the names of the other 2.
Well, I may not be one of the smartest, but I'm smart enough not to name the other 2. I'd make 2 people happy. But I would, it isn't, Ben Graham is one of the 3 smartest people. And I've known some really smart people. Smartness is not necessarily does not necessarily equate to wisdom either. And Ben Graham, one of the things he said he liked to do every day was he wanted to do something creative, something generous, and something foolish. And he said he was pretty good at the latter. But he was pretty good. He was amazing, actually, at the creating. But it's interesting that IQ does not always translate into rationality and behavioral success or wisdom. And so I know some people that are extraordinarily wise that would not be in the top 3 on an IQ test. But if I wanted their judgment on some matter, even if I want to put them in a position of responsibility someplace, I might prefer them to we'll say one of the 3. That'll leave the other 2 feeling fine of the 3. Greg, do you have any thoughts on that?
Nope. I agree with the person you named.
Yeah. And Becky, I would just say again that we may have, I hope we don't, but we may get some unpleasant surprises. And we're dealing with a virus that spreads its wings in a certain way, in very unpredictable ways, and how Americans react to it. There's all kinds of possibilities, but I definitely come to the conclusion after weighing all that sort of stuff, never bet against America. So thanks.